Now, the evaluation session. So we were talking about how to evaluate the client. And in the evaluation session, there are the client's major reasons of seeking treatment. Why this client want to seek the treatment? Then we asked about history of the current problem and prosperity events. So yesterday's session, these 2 points were very clearly identified. Right. The next session will be cognitive model examples. So we ask client what problematic thoughts that are being giving a hindrance, or what problematic emotions or physical sensations or behaviors they are being experiencing. Okay. So when we identify automatic thoughts, in the automatic thoughts, when we take cognitive model example, like the first one, the situation, the emotion, then the behavior, thought, and experience, right? The physical sensation, right? So that sheet we finish up. To get this information, we ask for specific experiences in which their anxieties has been intense. So yesterday at the end of the session, I shared you a sheet where we ask the client to note down each and every session, each and every moment where they feel anxiety, if possible with dated time. We also incorporate factors from the cognitive model of anxiety in this section. For example, clients' thoughts related to overestimating threat, underestimating resources, and their beliefs about anxiety. So these are the 3 points we focus when we are trying to get the cognitive model. What are they? Overestimated threats, underestimated resources, and their beliefs about the anxiety. Why? What are they believing about their anxiety? Okay. I am very fearful person. Okay. I am a low-minded person. Okay. I always worry for little things. So these are the beliefs about anxiety. These are the beliefs about anxiety. So overestimation and underestimation of resources, right? Overestimation of threats and underestimation of resources. So in the example, when you are riding a bike, overestimating the threats. Every time I may hit. Okay, even this time also I'm going to hit. Or underestimating the resources, like Adita's case. Okay, not able to find help. Like this. So, overestimating threats or underestimating resources and their beliefs about the anxiety are to be identified. See, we have number of anxieties, and anxiety disorders are of 3 types. First one is generalized anxiety. Second one is specific anxieties, like phobias. Okay. And the third one is associated anxieties, like any disorder or associated with anxiety, like obsessive compulsive disorder. That is a anxiety disorder which does not come under panic disorders, or which does not come under generalized anxiety disorder. We have only 3 anxiety disorders. I hope you all know this. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have
So
only
third one, can you repeat? Generalized, specific, and third one is?
OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Okay, obsessive compulsive anxiety disorder, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder is a specific anxiety disorder where people repeatedly do the things. If you go to a temple, you just say like this and you shall come back. But you see some people, they do this namaskara for hundreds of times, feeling that whether they had did it perfectly or not, or they were thinking something else when they were doing namaskara. Was the god was felt good, or he got irritated with our namaskara, right? So like this, we repeatedly do the same namaskara again and again. And sometimes when we say goodbye to some people, okay, or when we want to say send off to some people, or when we want to say I'm taking leave. Many times, yeah, can I leave? Is it okay? Can I go? Repeatedly asking this. So these are called, these are some symptoms of OCDs, obsessive compulsive disorder. Right. So for any anxiety, when you are counseling, okay, first you must identify the problematic thought, the emotion, the problematic emotion, the problematic physical sensations and behaviors. Four areas. And then specific situations, how the anxiety is being. What is the intensity of the anxiety? Okay. And then we go with the real identification of the individual's cognitive model. The cognitive model of anxiety asks you about the overestimation of the threat. Why anxiety comes? When we overestimate threat, or we underestimate resource, or what we believe about our anxiety. When somebody gave me an example for overestimating threat,
Same bike riding examples. I mean, while riding a bike, the threat comes like whether I may
yes,
hit.
something else. I want many examples.
So sometimes I have seen many people are afraid of pets, especially dogs. In the malls, I have seen many, especially senior citizens, are afraid of using escalators. Uh,
How it can be overestimating threat? It is simply a threat, right? Dog,
yeah,
there is a threat. How it can be overestimated threat?
yeah. So
senior
as it is,
For senior citizens, escalator is a threat. How it can be overestimating the threat?
I mean, though it is, there is no reason to be afraid of. Still, uh, they have a lot of fear.
Sir, stage fear for some people when they have to talk public speaking or something, they get afraid.
This one we can take it. Public speaking. Okay. For senior citizens, because they are having some physical decomposition or physical strength is lost, they are afraid of escalators. That can be somewhat resonated. Okay. Rationalized. That can be somewhat rationalized. But this one, when you have public speak, you have to speak in the public. We overestimate the threat. People may bully you, people may comment on you, you may not be able to speak properly. Am I right? Good. Good, Sunan. Others?
Sir, fear of, say, sometimes water or height, depth.
Too much worried about certain diseases.
Yeah. Too much worried about certain diseases. Yes, that is overestimate.
Like if I eat too much, I may get into obesity.
That has a proper rationale, right? The
Okay.
statement itself has a proper rationale.
Sir, in let's say adventure sports, okay, although all the precaution is taken care, somebody has to climb up somewhere. In spite of all the precaution, they still fear that no, if I go up, something will happen. Is it overestimation of threat?
Yes, that is overestimate. Though you have all the precautionary measures, still you are not able to perform the task. Okay, you have all the skills, but still you are not able to complete your job.
Okay.
Good. That is overestimation of conflict. Interviews, why people fail interviews?
Not confident about themselves and fear. And they know also like, they couldn't able to give answers as I experienced today.
Overestimating the threat, even though you know the answers, you think that
But
they are asking something else.
yeah,
You know the straight answer. You are consciously aware of like this for this question. This
Yeah.
is the only answer, but our
Yes.
mind asks. This is an interview, so they may
Yeah.
not be asking this. They may be asking something else.
Yes, sir. Yes, today's my son's college only. Like I had been to parents meeting, and they have a opening for a counselor. So I'll be talking with the principal. The moment when she was asking few questions, I'm unable to open my mouth, and I'm just like a blank. I don't know what to give the answers. And after coming out,
Actually,
what what happened to me also, I don't know. I was like, or I was getting more sweat. Usually on my palms, I'll get a sweat. Apart that, I won't get sweat anytime. If I go to Andhra also, not even a single drop of sweat I'll get. I will not get so. So, but,
so this is overestimate of threat, right? So
sir.
in the principle, you got like overwhelmed or maybe see sometimes what happens is we purposefully go for some schools or some organizations which are very large and very big.
Yes, sir.
After going there,
Mm.
our mind starts thinking like this is a very big organization. The job will be very tough. This thought itself will distract your whole interview. Right?
We always feel like others have much more knowledge than us.
Knowledge, yes.
Yeah, so we always try to hold back. I think we are not losing anything, no, whatever is possible. You have to present yourself with confidence.
Yeah.
So these are all overestimated threats. Then what is overestimated threats in anxiety? What can give you overestimate? Like how Anita said. Okay, that is the overestimated threat that gives you anxiety. When you have physiological, emotional reactions with your overestimations, automatically that comes under anxiety. Okay. At the same time, underestimated resources. Even though we have resources, but we feel that it may not be enough for us. Okay, now I hope you. So homework, write down homework. Okay, write some examples for overestimated threats, underestimated resources, and beliefs about anxiety. Somebody text it in the chat box. Homework. List out overestimated threats, underestimated resources, and beliefs about anxiety. Why I am asking you to write number of things?
So
Because
what was the
only
third
once we
one, sir?
speak, we know whether
Overestimate threat, underestimate resources, and what was the third one?
beliefs about anxiety. Belief about anxiety. Here it is on the screen.
Okay.
So what is the belief about anxiety? Can somebody give me one or two examples? I already gave.
Failure, sir.
Yes. Amit?
Yeah, failure. Belief about I'm going to fail in whatever I do, or
No, it always happens with me.
okay.
Because after you get the anxiety, your belief triggers. I always do the same.
Yeah.
Getting
Yesterday
anxiety.
we discussed about that.
Yesterday we discussed about things that triggers anxiety.
No, like after multiple times the same thing happens to us, we will start believing like my life is like this is going to happen to me, like that.
Yes. Start thinking that anxiety is after you understand that you are anxious. This always happens to me, or this is going to happen to me because it always happens to me. That is anxiety, that creates anxiety. Okay. So after you get the anxiety, again you will have one more thought. For example, if you have a thought like this, okay, this is a thought. Again it started. Again the same thing is happening. What will happen? Your anxiety will arise. Raise. For this thought, again it is happening. Again same thing is happening. What will happen? Your anxiety will start. After you get the anxiety, what will be your statement? Am I feeling anxious? So every time it happens with me.
Always this happens with me. Yeah.
Happens with me. It happens with me. Again, always it happens. He creates anxiety. Always it happens with me. This is how it happens with me. Is the belief about anxiety.
Sir, is that
So-
possible to take out that, I mean, what we, I mean, it every time it is happening to me only, and whatever the incident, it repeats thrice, and more than that means it will fix in our mind, no, sir. And how
Even
to
it happens 100 times, it is easy to remove. Why?
how,
Because
sir?
what creates anxiety, either overestimation or underestimating. If you go with a pakka plan,
Hmm.
for example, in the interview only, if you go with the answer for the answer that you don't know,
Hmm.
now will you get anxiety? You prepare an answer for the
Hmm.
answer you don't know.
Hmm.
So that means
Yes.
you should say, I don't know. But
Hmm.
instead of saying, I don't know, I never came across with this.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is also one area where I did not focus much on it
Hmm.
because I never had a reason, or I never had a opportunity to go through this dimension.
Hmm.
This is the answer, right?
Yeah,
And
same
when you have such
answers we can
when
give, but the moment, like, it starts, like, it just increase a heartbeat, and I don't know, somewhat like
breathing
though.
exercise,
Uh-huh.
preparation of interview is a big thing. For example, I tell
Okay.
you, before you start for an interview,
Uh,
see that your carbohydrate levels are not low.
okay.
Have you had a breakfast? Have you have full tummy or empty tummy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you having any bowel movement? If
Mm-hmm.
yes, go to washroom, come back, have a sip of water, clear
Mm.
yourself that you are not having any bowel movement.
Mm.
Heartbeat. If you have a
Yeah.
proper breathing exercise,
Mm.
your heartbeat will be in control.
Okay.
Okay. Sweating. Use talcum powders. Definitely the feeling of using talcum powder, that
Mm.
some talcum powders come no where you don't sweat.
And
Okay.
okay.
Sweat absorbing, that feeling itself will reduce the sweat,
Huh.
right?
Hmm.
No.
Got it.
Identify all the symptoms of anxiety. That's what here we are doing.
Mm.
Identify the emotional, behavioral, and physiological changes.
Mm. Mm.
And practice for everything.
Mm.
That is therapy session.
Okay.
That is homework,
Awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So in CBT, what happens is identifying, reflecting, making the client to identify things is the biggest task. What they have to identify? They have to identify their cognition. How is their attention? How is their perception? How is their memory? How is their all the other reasoning, all the other things when they are anxious. Then B, behaviors. What is their behavior when they are anxious? Show them. Make them identify it. Now, T is therapy. Therapy means give homework. Like for example, if you are facing a sudden anxiety, okay, in the situation, you cannot always create that situation. But anxiety has some symptoms: rapid heartbeat, severe sweating, okay, drying lips, feeling hungry. Now you know that you are going to go into a situation, or you are going in a way where the situation may come. Prepare for these symptoms. Automatically your anxiety levels are low. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So like this, others, am I clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in CBT, most of the time what we talk is identification, because if the counselor cannot identify, he cannot make the client to identify. Because the counselor has to identify, then he must make the client to identify the same, understand the same, and adapt coping strategies. Now, many people have maladaptive coping strategies. Maladaptive means where their thinking goes in a wrong way, or they have a destructive way of coping mechanism. For example, many people like gents, they go smoke and they have a chewing gum in the mouth, and then they come and attend some serious issues. Okay. But when other person identifies that you have smoked, they may not be so much comfortable talking to you. Now, this is a maladaptive coping strategy. Some people, if you ask them to eat a chocolate before you start something, they will eat this much big chocolate. What will happen? Your throat stucks up with that gummy thing, right? So these are all the maladaptive coping strategies. Okay, so where the focus of attention is when they're anxious. So they must be able to focus when they are anxious. So their focus should be brought when they are anxious, what they avoid and what safety behaviors they use. Right. Where is Shija? Shija, how many times did you practice today bike riding? Shija is here.
She's there, Nata.
She's not responding. That means she's not listening to the class. Okay. Now we asked Shija to practice many times. Why we are making her practice many times? So what they avoid, okay, they are avoiding to take safety measures. So now we are asking her to take these safety measures to reduce the anxieties. So whenever they are anxious, immediately that alarm what is set starts ringing.
Mhm.
Then they go for this safety behaviors.
Mm.
Right? Now, the fourth one is strengths and resources. We have to identify what are the strengths of the individual, what are the resources they have. So we ask client what they see as their strengths and internal and external resources. And we also note additional items that we have to see as the helpful characteristics and supports the client has. So what are the different support systems they have? What are the different additional characters that can be helpful to the client's behavior? Okay. And on the top, we see the internal and external resources. Internal means what is the knowledge and other thing. External means what are the other facilities. Like for example, if somebody wants to go to a particular job, okay, what are their external resources? How much they can go, how much they can adapt and all this. Then psychiatric history is common in all the counseling basis. When we had some of our friends, they told they already visited counselors. Okay. Now this is the psychiatric history. It may not be psychiatric history, but it can be also a psychological history. But psychiatric is when they go beyond their potentials. They have these bodily reflections more, and they use medication to calm down their bodily symptoms, like hospitalization, suicidal attempts, okay? All of these things. Then we ask about family, social, and traumatic histories. Are there any family histories? Are there any social histories? Are there any traumatic histories that are related to this kind of traumatizing, which is creating anxieties? Then legal histories. What are the different legal histories if they have? In India, most of them, they don't go up to this. But medical histories, definitely they will have. Okay. Then substance use history. What are the different substances they used? Okay. How they try to overcome their fears or anxieties by using substances. Some people use medical medicines. I know one girl, I know one doctor, he gave me a medicine when I was in 10th standard or something. When I asked him, like, I explained him about my IBS, he told, take this medicine before 5 minutes you do your activity. I never took it because that time my activity levels are very high. So I never took it. Okay. So substance use history. Then risk assessment. Now, when you are trying to plan therapy sessions, you must be able to assess the risk with the client. How much risk we can take with this client. If you are not able to assess risk, automatically, suddenly you have to see the lawyer. Because the client, when they are opening up, when they are emotionally opening up, or when they are talking about their past history or different situations, sometimes they may go to severe depressions. And in this severe depression, we should have some time to bring them back. And during this process of bringing them back, if the client is suddenly gets irritated, automatically what will happen? They commit suicide, or if they don't commit, they can break things in your office itself. Right? So these are to be assessed. The next one is current psychosocial and environmental problems. So what are the current psychosocial problems are there? We especially ask about difficulties client may have with their primary support groups and the social environments. We found out if they are having any troubles with their schooling, work, housing, finance, healthcare, and legal systems. Right? And finally, we end the evaluation session by collaborating, developing broad treatment goals to reduce anxieties. Clear? I'm just moving the slides once again. Go through them. In the meanwhile, if anyone wants to discuss, they can discuss. If you want to really experience these things, if you really want to help with yourself about doing counseling or something, you need to write. You need to write big statements. Because as a counselor, if we are not able to properly answer ourselves, or if we are not able to properly guide ourselves, automatically we are at risk. And at the same time, we will not be able to assess others, because until unless we are able to feel the comfort with our counseling, we cannot give counsel. Now I want a counselor and a client. Only for 10 minutes, straight over questions, asking all these areas, all the 10 areas.
Sir, kindly move to the previous page, sir.
This one,
No, the previous one.
cognitive model examples. You will have this recording, right? Anu?
Yes, sir. We will be having the recordings. I was just going through that.
No, who will be the counselor? Who will be the client? Only for 10 minutes.
I'll be the client.
The option. Anita will be the counselor.
Sir, now actually children are there, sir. I am not that, comfortable to ask the questions. I'll be taking tuitions and I'll be listening only.
Amit? Sunand? No one is ready. Why?
Actually, this main problem in between these children will be talking, sir. So only
It's okay, Anita, I understand.
keep quite much away.
So many people join to become counselors and no one is opening their mouth.
Nobody's ready.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
Go ahead with the session.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
Okay. Now is it clear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
it's clear
yes, sir.
There is some disturbance with the internet.
As you said, no, sir, you are staying next to CM house. Revant Reddy.
On Ravant Reddy, Jagan Mohan Reddy, Andhra CM.
Andhra CM. Oh, Jagan Mohan Reddy. Telangana and Andhra is divided. Now it is one big thing.
Okay, yesterday I asked you people to write common core beliefs. I asked you people to write about common core beliefs, right?
Hmm.
How many of you wrote? How many of you identified? Helplessness, unlovable, worthlessness.
These all the things, yeah.
Yes, somebody was saying something.
No, sir, these all the things are going through in our day-to-day life. In one or the other situation, we are facing all these things.
Yes. And sometimes like we feel we are completely low, though we are, sometimes we know certain things, but still when it comes to a trigger moment and we feel I'm still not that capable of doing anything like that.
Even I have faced so many times, sir, but I am a fighter.
Same thing,
That's
Anu.
good. We should be fighters. See,
Yeah,
what
I'm a fighter. So whenever I'll feel no, I'll fight and I'll try to overcome it.
my wife says something very beautiful. Okay, what she says is whenever we have a problem at one situation,
Hmm.
solve it at the same point and come out of it.
Yeah.
Or else
Otherwise, it will eat us.
it will eat us. It will keep on bothering you.
Even I'm also like that, sir. Sometimes I'll adopt the agriculture. One of my colleague, like my friend, he suggested that agriculture. Otherwise, ignore culture.
No culture. Yes, agree with
Anjana.
culture or no culture,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Right. So these are all the helplessness beliefs. I am incompetent, I am ineffective, I can't do anything right, I am helpless. I am
Yes, I
powerless, I'm
think
weak, vulnerable, weak.
almost everyone
Yes.
have gone through all these things, sir, in their life, one or the other point.
Yeah, one or the other situation will be having this.
See, going through in life is different.
Yeah.
Now here on this stage, we are counselors.
We are going to help them.
We are trying to counsel. We can't help them. We have to remember them.
Mm-hmm.
We have to remember these, like how you remember question answers. Like this, we have to remember these statements. These are the statements that keeps somebody
Mm.
to be showing helpless. Okay. Your client, if they are using these statements, that means they are feeling helpless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good enough in terms of achievement. I am defective. I'm a failure. Like this. So these are all the helplessness belief systems. Allowable beliefs. Going on well, still they have the statement. I'm unlovable, I'm unlikable, I'm undesirable, I'm unattractive. Okay. I am bound to be rejected. I am bound to be abandoned. I am bound to be alone. I am not good enough. I am defective. The worthlessness. These are the few statements that most people use in the place of worthlessness. Now, these are the common physiological responses for anxiety, any kind of anxiety. Heart racing, muscle tension, feeling hot, sweating, butterflies in the stomach, tightness in the chest, lump in the throat, dizziness or lightheadedness, numbness or tingling, wobblingness in the legs, shaking or trembling, hypervigilant or difficult breathing, nausea or indigestion. Now, what are the questions we need to ask to help the client, okay, to identify their automatic thoughts? What was going through your mind? What were you thinking? Were you anticipating or expecting anything? What were you predicting would happen? What was the worst thing that could happen? What did you think about your ability to handle or cope? So these are the questions in the client. Now, everyone, you have a pen and paper, I think. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to try it on the current situation? You are having a you are going to a class, okay? Not to identify that is, but just you simply to identify what automatic thoughts at the moment is going on in your mind. I'm not going to ask individually on the WhatsApp, personally on the WhatsApp. Just answer these questions. Take 5 minutes time. I'm giving you 5 minutes time. Answer these questions. Try to identify what kind of automatic thoughts are going through right now. Okay. Your time starts now. It is 52 minutes. So it's 53 exactly. At 55, I'll stop.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sir, what was going through in my mind is thinking about my son. As I mean, today I had attended the parents' meeting, and what was thinking about his academics only. Like he's very good in all other activities, and except this in academics, he's going. I mean, worst in the sense from 80% to now he got 50%. Second PUC, now exams are going to be preparatory exams. In that two subjects he failed.
Okay.
Yeah, and the teacher complaint is he is very much obedient, very good in all the sports, kabaddi, all these
Is
things.
it complaint?
No complaints, sir. Thinking and worrying more for that. I'm not complaining.
No, you said that the teacher's complaint is.
I I feel it is like complaining only. And they're saying you are so lucky, mother. He is such a obedient child, but why he is going? I mean, dull in academics. Where he is going? I mean, wrong. Don't know.
Which
Next.
stream he has taken? Which stream?
It's PCMC,
Better,
physics, chemistry, maths, and computer science.
better try to buy that SPR books, Anita.
He has taken a guides, all this thing.
No,
I don't
SPR is
know.
very simple. If he's not very good in studies, he can go through that. Yes, sir.
This conversation will be after this.
No, sure. Because I'm into academics, no, suddenly I jump into that.
Stopping impulsivity is a very first quality of the counselor. Not to be impulsive.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, third question. What did you answer?
And
You anticipated
what
next.
were you predicting? I'm just like, what is going to happen if he fail in a final exam, or if he score a less marks? Will he get a admission in a school? I mean, sorry, next good college or
See,
not?
that is
Then
prediction. You are talking about what is your anticipation. Anticipation has a different meaning.
I'm expecting that he has to still focus more. I mean, he is going to be perfect if we, focus more little bit in academics. And
This question you already answered. What are you predicting? Okay. What the worst thing that could be happened?
worst thing means that is what's here next supplementary exam is not there, it seems. He has to again wait for 1 more year to complete his PC,
Backlogs.
intermediate. In Andhra we'll say inter, no sir. Here PUC. So then again, if he score less marks, then again I have to go for behind this college and should pay extra amount, donations and all. And whatever the college we need, we won't get good colleges. That is one
What do
more
you
thing.
think your abilities to handle or cope with this?
And I can just say that he is very good, sir, and always he'll obey my words, sir. But from past 1 month, his mind is not in that good condition, and I whatever I say, yeah, I know. Now I won't talk anything. I'll show that, and I'll prove my result. No need to say anything. In that mindset, now he is, good enough.
That is a common
I
mindset
said-
of this adolescent age, the late
And
adolescent.
yes, and I said, Chetan, I know that how much I care you, how much you are mean to me.
Okay, Anita,
Uh,
I'll tell you one thing, right?
yes, sir.
Here, when you are answering some questions, you are talking about yourself. But when you are answering the last question specifically,
Uh,
you are answering for your son.
hmm.
Here the question
Both
is, what
I'm-
do you think about your
Mhm.
ability to handle or cope with the situation? It is not about your son, but what do you think? How can you
I
help
think,
your-
I'm still not that much, I think so, capable of handling him.
Now, is
Maybe
it a helplessness belief?
it's just kind of a helplessness only, I can say, sir.
No? Now you can talk. Hello.
Yeah, Anita, you don't have to worry about that.
Now this
Actually,
is the helplessness
still time is
belief,
there.
right?
Yeah, still time is there. Actually, this is just December, and
Uh-huh.
see, there are 2-3 kinds of books are there. It is suitable for different kinds of students. So I think he has to go through SPR. SPR, like it is very short, and almost all the questions are that come to the exam only. So you just try to purchase that SPR and buy one subject. And you just go through that. If he is able to read that, no, that will be really wonderful. He can score good marks with that.
Okay.
Very
Yes,
simple.
I know.
Yes.
I asked you to help her with her helplessness belief system.
No, sir. This is the best solution I can give because, as I said, like all the children are having different
As
capacities.
a CBT therapist, we should not give solutions. We should make
They
them
should
think about
only
solutions.
think about the solution.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. See, Anita, I don't.
Your questioning should be in such a way that
Sir,
he
your
should
voice is breaking.
tell that these are the options your questioning should be in such a way that these are the options I have. This is what Anita should say.
Okay.
Right. Okay, anyhow, we'll go for the next slide.
Yes.
Right. Now, you can identify beliefs about anxiety by asking these questions. Okay, or such kind of questions. What's so bad about experiencing anxiety? Is it really bad to feel anxiety?
Not really. Sometimes
Not really.
anxiety
Helps.
controls us.
As long as it is pushing us towards our goal, it is good, sir.
Yes. If you are not anxious, you will not explore.
Yeah.
If you are not anxious, you will not try to move yourself to the next level.
No, sir.
Right. So, when you ask about such kind of questions,
Whether we
what's
can ask
bad
such
about-
questions to the client?
This one you can ask. What is so bad about experiencing anxiety?
Okay.
Is it really so bad to experience anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
Then the response definitely will be not so much bad. Then you ask the both positives and negatives. Just give me a moment. Just. Okay, sorry, professional. Now, when you ask somebody, like, is it so bad to experience anxiety? Now, Anita, you had
Yes, sir.
finished the interview in the morning, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All of the sudden she called me, sir. I was not into that. I mean,
Let me
prepared
ask
and
the question first.
sir.
Now, when you felt this anxiety experience, was it really so bad?
No, not that much exactly, sir.
Not that much.
Not,
Right?
uh-huh.
So what did you first noticed about the anxiety? How did you identify that you got anxious?
In the sense like the moment when I was stepping into the cabin, like I was quite nervous, and morning while I was going to that son's college, somewhere it was not in that good mood. I was quite, I mean, upset with
How
this.
did you
He said,
identify that you are nervous or you started feeling anxious?
first, I mean, my heartbeat has been increased and a little bit on sweat on my palms.
Hmm.
And the moment when they were asking, I mean, something, I was not that confidently giving the answer.
So what did you do to calm down your anxiety?
The moment, I mean, when I came out of the cabin, within 2 minutes, nothing. I'm feeling just normal. The only thing, like after entering to the cabin, when she was talking, I was completely nervous.
Have you tried to have a cup of water or
Nothing. No,
anything else in such a way?
oh, no, sir, actually.
Next time you try it.
Sir.
Okay, a sip of water, not a cup of water, a sip of water,
Sir.
or at least do remind that whenever you feel that your heartbeat is high,
Uh,
okay, take
mm.
take take a deep breath.
Sir.
At least then you calm down and then you can go for it.
Sir.
Sushma, you have anything to say? Now, how can anxiety interfere with your life? Sushma, are you talking to us? Talking to some. Okay. So now you can say how this anxiety is interfering with your life. Okay. So how it is disturbing your life. This feeling of anxiety. How is it disturbing your life on an everyday basis?
Everyday basis, in the sense, regularly I won't get this much, I mean, anxiety, sir. When something triggers me out, and I feel completely low myself, and what it goes means extreme level, I'm not capable of doing anything, I'm unfit for this. And I'll eat more food, especially sweets. I start to, if I feel that, I'll take more sweets.
More sweets.
uh, yeah, either chocolates or something. If I didn't find anything, then I'll take jaggery or least moment sugar.
So this is the worst that can happen when you feel more anxious.
In that, I'm just gaining a weight. especially like, after this incident is happening, I mean, I'm staying at home only. I thought, no, why I wanted to scare for some other person, why I wanted to hibernate myself. Let me just step out of the house and start up my this thing. I went today along with my husband. I went, and the moment I thought, like, let me try, they said like there is an opening for the counselor. Then I was just completely speechless. To be very frank, like, words are not coming about.
Okay, so this situation you identified, you note it down. Keep
Yeah,
down
sir.
all the points. At the same time, also note down all the questions they asked.
Hmm.
Whatever
Yes, sir.
happened, minute to minute, you note it down. Yesterday, I gave you the sheet, right?
Awesome.
Situation, automatic thoughts, physiological responses. In that,
Yes,
you
sir.
note it down, all these things.
Yes, sir.
And then we started. Now, the next slide is, here is how to identify the triggering situations. What is triggering you the anxieties? So when you are going to ask a client, okay, so what are the anxieties, how worse is the anxiety and all. Now you try to identify what are the triggering situations. So we work on triggers, because triggers are the ones which create the situations or anxieties in the situations. Right. Now, when or where your anxiety most intense? At what kind of situations? List out all the situations. When is your anxiety is more? And you'll also ask the client, are there any situations that makes you anxious? Which situation do you avoid or partially avoid because of anxiety? So what are the different situations you are avoiding because of anxiety? Because this also leads for anxiety. You are avoiding some situations because of anxiety. So you also identify this. Now, do you notice any bodily sensations that makes you anxiety worse after you notice them? Like when we asked Anita, she said sweating in the palm. Okay. Or sweating in the foot, I think. So when she identified it, it increases her anxiety. Now, what she has to do in such conditions? Do you have any thoughts, images, and impulses that are distressing? So anytime, do you have any kind of images or thoughts or any kind of impulses? Like for some people have doing like this, what they say, dried lips, trying to make over the dried lips, shaking hands, rubbing hands, okay, over sweating, and they try to use a kerchief and wipe and
Biting nails.
biting
Biting
nails.
nails.
Good. Biting nails. So like this, there are many things that can trigger your anxieties more. And these behaviors, they make you distressed first. Okay. So this is about the questions that are to be asked. Right. Now, here is an early experience of one particular client. Okay. When we asked about early experiences of this client, these are the statements that were given. So try to read the statements and identify how the statements are going on. Older brother was developed delayed, so her parents focused more attention on him. They criticized her and acted annoyed when she sought their attention. Her parents told her she should be grateful for what she had in life. Okay, so these are all the things that has annoyed. So these are the early experiences that this client faced. Can I go for the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are how these thoughts have created a belief system? I am not good enough in terms of achievement. I am needy. I am selfish, I am helpless, I am vulnerable. These are the beliefs that formed from those experiences in the past. Then, what kind of intermediate beliefs or conditional assumptions have been started? I shouldn't feel negative emotions. The world's a dangerous place. So these are all the different intermediate beliefs or conditional assumptions that happen. So when you speak to your clients, it should be so systematic. Identifying all these things are very important. Here it says anxiety protects me. If I show my anxiety, automatically it will protect me. Other people are critical and judgmental and notice my failure, right? But when these intermediate beliefs or conditional assumptions get fixated in the client's mind, automatically these are the coping strategies that adapted. This girl specifically, this client adapted. Tries to do things perfectly, tries to complete all tasks on her own, compares herself to high achieved peers, criticizes herself, worries, avoids, goes overboard in pleasing others and putting their needs above hers. Precipitating events. What are the different events that are precipitating the same situation? Move to a different city, no local social support, being a new reception job, difficulty sleeping, feel stressed most of the time. Now here when the core beliefs get activated. I am incomplete, I am incompetent, not good enough, I am helpless, I am needy, I am selfish, I am emotionally vulnerable. Then comes the negative cognitions. Overestimating threat or underestimating coping. I am not going to be able to finish my work. It is overestimation or underestimation. This is
Underestimation.
Underestimation.
next. My workers are all smarter than I am. Overestimation. Overestimation about others. Right? No one will want to hang out with me.
Underestimation.
Underestimating ourselves. I am not going to be able to make it here without any support. Underestimation.
Estimating.
I'm going to get robbed if I leave work when it's done.
Overestimation.
Overestimation or negative cognition. Now, what are the symptoms of anxiety identified? Affective means emotional. Feeling anxious, stressed, restless. Behavioral reads over work, task multiple times to make sure she understands it fully. Checks her completed work task multiple times to make sure that she hasn't made a mistake. Doesn't initiate conversation with coworkers, isolates herself socially. Cognitivist has difficulty in concentrating, worrying most of the time. Physical is difficulty sleeping, muscular tension, easy fatigue, eating, if we can add. Because so like this, we identify the symptoms of anxiety. Now, when we start counseling, the first thing what we do is cost benefit analysis. What happens when you are trying to give rationals to all your thoughts? So introduce a cost benefit analysis, provide a rational and elicit the client's agreement. So now we are going to see what are the benefits. Okay, how much you have the cost benefit analysis. I'll show you the chart, then you'll understand clearly. Okay, so give a cost benefit analysis to the client, providing the rationale and eliciting the price agreement. Label the maladaptive coping strategies or beliefs. Clearly tell her what are the maladaptive coping strategies and beliefs. We have it right here. We have maladaptive coping strategies or beliefs. Okay. These are all coping strategies. These are all beliefs. Then collaborate, diverse, a more adaptive coping strategies or beliefs. So now when you see the maladaptive coping strategies, suggest her or try to make her identify what can be the adaptive coping strategies. Okay, so collaborate means you both together, the client and the counselor, together works in collaborative adaptive coping strategies. Now review the advantages or benefits of maladaptive coping strategies or beliefs. Now when she said, okay, tries to do things perfectly. Okay, now is it a wrong maladaptive coping strategy or not? Hello?
Yeah.
It is maladaptive,
Maladaptive.
stressful.
How it is maladaptive?
It adds more stress.
It adds more stress, then it kills more time,
Yeah.
it kills more energies. No need to do everything perfectly, right? Tries to complete all tasks on her own. Is it possible for anyone?
No.
So these are all the topics. So now we see what is the benefits of cost benefits of this coping strategies. Yes, the advantages and disadvantages. So here we say advantages or benefits of maladaptive coping strategy. She will not see any advantage or any benefit in this coping strategies. We don't say you have disadvantages with this coping strategies. Because if you say that you have disadvantages with this coping strategies, she will try to prove them right. She or he. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So ask them advantages of this coping strategies. Or what are the benefits of this coping strategy or beliefs? Then identify the disadvantages. So automatically what they say is they identify the disadvantages of the coping strategies. So then ask them the disadvantages of adaptive coping strategies. So adaptive coping strategies, we have to ask disadvantages where the client will start adding advantages. In fifth step, we ask the disadvantages of maladaptive coping strategies. Then again, we'll ask disadvantages of adaptive coping strategies. What's wrong if you try so many times? How can it be? What can be the disadvantage of trying so many times? No one will say like I will lose that, I will lose it. It is better like as many times I try, it will be more perfect. Now list the advantages of adaptive coping strategies without reviewing the maladaptive coping strategies in step 4 and step 5 and step 6 thoroughly. Don't go for step 7. When you have step 4, step 5, step 6 thoroughly be cleared and the client becomes confident, only then go for step 7, listing advantages of adaptive coping strategies. Then assess the strengths of advantages and versus disadvantages. Now you have all the disadvantages, all the advantages. Now ask the client which is more strong. Now when advantages. Now for these adaptive coping strategies, you create an action plan. how to make them better. For example, Anita went into Wayne today. What were the what were the maladaptive things she did? First of all, she knows that whenever she sits in the feet or in the palm, she is anxious. So for that,
Yes.
she did not prepare. Right?
Awesome.
So like this, when Anita, you sit and you write all the things that happened, you identify how did you simply try to avoid things and come out of the room as soon as possible, because when you stepped out of the room, you are totally relaxed, right? So your body, your senses, everything was ready to
Yeah.
go out of the room,
Awesome.
but you are not ready to answer the questions. Right? That's why your body felt good when it is out of the room. Now, whenever I gave you tips like do breathing exercise regularly, so that whenever you feel anxious, automatically your breathing will get activated and you feel good. Okay. Then having a chocolate, drinking water. These are all the adaptive coping strategies. Now, these you need to practice. For this, you have to create an action plan. Okay. And when you create action plan, you also need to create the potential obstacles. What can come to you? Now, this is the cost benefit analysis chart. Advantages of worrying, advantages of planning, preparing, problem solving in the present moment. Disadvantages of worrying, disadvantages of planning, preparing, and solving in the present. Right? So list the advantages of the cost benefit analysis. Try to make the list of disadvantages as long as you can. If your client does not list many, you can make suggestions. For example, you might say, "Don't worry. Does worrying lead you to feel more anxious? Is there something we should add to the list?" This is how your statement should be. Everything should be the suggestions or whatever you want to give them in a way that they should say, yes, this is the plan. You should not say this is the right way to do it. Do you think, will it help? Can we add it to the list? Yes, so you can also add to the list by asking about disadvantages of the advantages of the disadvantages. What don't you like about anxiety? What's the worst part about being anxious? What problem does anxiety cause, etc. Right?
Support each other. Men don't support each other. That's why they're depressed. A girl can tell her best friend anything, and she'll support it no matter what.
No, you are listening to something else.
No, sir, it is TV.
It's TV. That's what your TV sound is more.
No, when the door is opened.
Okay. Now, your homework is the second homework. Homework number 1 is given, homework number 2. Try this on somebody. Cost benefit analysis, the 9 steps, or do it on yourself. Tomorrow, you prepare a list and present it to me. Is it okay?
What we should do, sir, actually, with the situation we have to write?
Cost benefit analysis of anxieties.
Cognitive analysis of anxiety. Okay.
Cost benefit.
Cost benefit, okay.
So this one, advantages of worrying, disadvantages of worrying, advantages of planning, disadvantages of planning. Use these questions one by one.
How do we
Make
keep
this chart.
marks then? Marks.
Yes, Anna?
Sir, bottom of those listed 25, 60, 75, those are marks. I mean, the counselor gives to.
Percentage what you give, the client gives.
How we can give, sir? Is
How
there
you
any?
No, nothing. It's just a common opinion. How much advantage you have, how much disadvantage you have.
Okay.
So with this, we'll stop here today. Half
So
an hour.
just go through the previous slides, or just a minute.
Wait, I have to share the presentation first.
Sir, you will be sharing these PPT files in the group, na sir?
Yes, I am sharing.
Next page. Next. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, then see you all tomorrow. Do your homework. Tomorrow we may have an extended session.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Tomorrow even we have exams, a counseling group.
Yeah,
as today.
areas of counseling.
Yes, sir.
All the best.
Re-exam. Yes, sir. From that